Hello and welcome back to another edition of GNAT-TV's In-Depth series. April is Child Abuse and Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and a very serious subject, and we're fortunate to have with us in the studio two ladies from two organizations locally here in Bennington County to tell us a little bit more about what will be going on around that. It's my pleasure to welcome Joy Kitchell, who is the Executive Director of the Bennington County Child Advocacy Center, and also Dara Zink, who is the Outreach Advocate for P.A.V.E, or Project Against Violent Encounters. Ladies, welcome to GNAT.
Thank you.
Thank you for making the time to come and tell us about this important month coming up. But before we get to that, though, I was just thinking, why don't we have you both tell us a little bit about your respective organizations and what they do. Joy, what does the Bennington County Child Advocacy Center, what's your mission?
So the Bennington County Child Advocacy Center, and we go by CAC for short, is a nonprofit organization that's been serving in Bennington County since 1989. And our mission is to work with anyone who's a victim of sexual abuse, regardless of their age, and also to work with children that are victims of serious physical abuse, medical neglect, maybe online sex crimes as well. And we at the CAC, we do whatever it is the family needs to help support them as they heal and move forward. Our office, we're co-located with law enforcement that do the investigations in conjunction with the Department of Children and Families. And that's where we first meet our families and do an intake, a survey of what their needs are, how we can best support them. And we stay with them for as long as they need. So we say that we're with them from disclosure to when it is finally resolved, either in or out of the court system. Okay.
And Dara, tell us a little bit about P.A.V.E.
So Project Against Violent Encounters, like you've already said, we are the domestic violence and sexual violence agency throughout Bennington County. We operate a 24-hour hotline that is available for people to call in at any time to receive information and referrals, emotional support and advocacy. We offer emergency shelter for people who need to leave a situation. And then we can also offer some long-term shelter. We do some case management for individuals once they're within our shelter to help them get back on their feet and get back out into the community in a safe place.
Okay, so what will be going on the next month with the Child Abuse and Sexual Assault Awareness Month? Will you be having some events to highlight these issues, or what will be going on?
We do have several events. So for children, blue is our color. And so we have many events around blue. We're encouraging everyone to wear blue, specifically on April 8th. Bennington Goes Blue. And we're asking folks to take pictures, snapshots, and post them on social media with the hashtag Bennington Goes Blue. Do you want to keep on the color theme?
Sure. So for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, it's Teal Tuesday is the big day, and that's April 2nd. And we have been handing out our teal ribbons through partnerships throughout town. And we ask that on Teal Tuesday, everyone throw on their ribbons, take a picture of them and their group all together, and send it to us or share it on social media, and so that we can share, the partnerships throughout the community that we have. So I know the CAC will be joining us on Teal Tuesday.
We will.
We'll be joining the CAC on Bennington Goes Blue.
And then another piece that we do is blue pinwheels for prevention. So we have been selling and encouraging folks to wear pinwheel pins. And the pinwheel is actually the symbol for Prevent Child Abuse Vermont and Prevent Child Abuse America. So on April 1st through the entire month, even if there's snow on the ground, if you drive by our office, there has been. If you drive by our office on Elm Street in Bennington, you will see a garden full of pinwheels that we'll be planting on Monday morning on April 1st.
So is this an annual thing that happens every April, or is this a special event just occurring this year? April
is the awareness month for both agencies, and in the past 3 years we have become close partners in doing our awareness campaigns and doing things together when we can, because as I had mentioned earlier, I work with children and adults. Our office works with children and adults, so there's time when there's carryover between the two organizations. Right. Sure. So we thought this is a great opportunity to work together.
Yes.
So why do you both feel like there's a need for a month like this to raise awareness around these important issues? Is there a trend of one kind or another going on, or what's the rationale for it in addition to raising the awareness of it?
So when you look at statistics around children that are victims of sexual assault, sexual abuse, 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually assaulted before they are 18 years old. And in Vermont, that statistic holds true with national trends. And we know that 74% of children will not disclose that they have been abused for at least a year. And as many as 45% of the children will not disclose for at least 5 years that they have been abused. And we know that 80% of the time they disclose by accident. They didn't intend to, they were asked a question, something triggered something within them, and they disclosed that they were a victim of abuse. And so raising awareness, pointing out what we do for prevention campaigns, how we can help educate our community is extremely important, because we know that when a child discloses, when they're finally brave enough to tell their story, that they're telling the truth and they need to be believed. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are there any warning signs that kids give off, or that suggest that maybe something has happened that shouldn't have?
That's an excellent question. So one of the things that we do in our office is we're trainers with Darkness to Light and Prevent Child Abuse Vermont, and we provide prevention education to anyone that works in a youth serving organization. And we provide our services free of charge. And we support a curriculum that works with children preschool through 8th grade, because it's important for children to learn who their trusted adults are within their support system, and learn what boundaries are, what healthy boundaries are, and what to do if they feel like their boundaries aren't being respected, and who they can go to if they feel that something is making them uncomfortable or is confusing.
And Dara, you said P.A.V.E. will be having a number of events too. You keep an office in Bennington.
Yep.
Are you seeing more traffic coming through than you have in the past, or less, or?
Like Joy said, our numbers here in Vermont are pretty on par with national standards, which we want them all to be lower, ultimately. But the major stat that you hear regarding this is that every 97.8 seconds an American is sexually assaulted, right? So if we are talking for 15 minutes, in that time, that's 9 people who have been sexually assaulted. That's a big number. And according to the CDC, it's 1 in 3 women, 1 in 6 men will have been sexually assaulted in their lifetime. So, I think that it is really important to have these awareness campaigns going on, to not only just raise awareness that it is happening, but to start the conversation and to talk about rape culture, what that is, what it looks like, how do we change that within even our small town here, our smaller communities. It's still happening, and it's something that we can all work together to redirect that conversation and kind of change that culture around it. And so I'm really excited that we have so many things going on this month to help with that.
So you want to, in part, I guess, encourage folks who may have been victims of sexual assault or child abuse to come forward, to kind of eliminate the stigma to some degree.
Absolutely. And our slogan for April is stand up and speak out. And that's not only for our victims. We want to encourage them to stand up, tell their story, own that story, and start the healing process. But it's also for bystanders and people just throughout the community to stand up and speak out when they see something that's not right. When you see someone not taking no for an answer from somebody else, when you see someone talking misogynistically, when you see someone promoting rape culture, and they may not even know that they're doing it because it's become a culture, and it's something that unless you're looking for it, it's so ingrained in us that we don't notice it anymore. So there was the recent ranking of students at a school. I don't know if you saw that story. And these girls were all ranked based on their looks. And these young women actually went to their school, and not only did they ask for more punishment, but they started a conversation. They had a 2-hour conversation within their class about what this is and what it looks like. And the person who had initiated that ranking of the students was part of that conversation. And the message that he took away from that was amazing. And he said, I didn't realize, I didn't think, I didn't know. And so he is actually now part of a group to kind of help change that conversation within their school. So, and I think that this month will help promote that as well.
That makes me wonder, do you do any work directly within schools? Or will some of the activities this month, next month in April, take place in some of the area schools?
We do have in-school educators.
We do.
Yeah, so we have Mike Dryblatt is our educator, and he goes into the schools, and he does a lot of bullying and consent kind of talk, and then you have...
And so then Jenna Caslin, who's our case coordinator, and I go into the classrooms and we train school counselors, and we also model lessons. The programming that we do is a 6 to 10 week program, depending on the age of the student, and it's all about understanding your rights as boundaries, how to be respectful, how to expect your peers to be respectful, and what does that look like, what does that sound like, and how do you respond when it's not being respectful and safe. And you have to think, Andrew, that in our time on this planet, the laws around protecting victims of physical and sexual abuse really only came into play in the 1980s. So for us, it's a cultural shift from not necessarily what is normal or what happens behind closed doors, but to what's healthy and what you should be allowed to expect.
Do you folks get involved much in you mentioned bullying a moment ago, social media? We hear a lot about people posting things on Facebook or other social media platforms that basically are very harmful and hurtful and can really have consequences far beyond what they may have been intended for. Do either of your organizations get involved in any of that, or is that just such a specialized thing that you really need somebody who's got a lot of background in it?
Yeah, so I think that with many of the percentage is very high, and I don't know the percentage off the top of my head, but it is not at all uncommon to find that there has been some kind of online communication or photography that's been taken or viewing of websites by the folks that are involved in our cases. I do want to give a plug for a website. It's commonsensemedia.org. That's a great resource for parents. You can go and look to see what apps your children are downloading, what games they're downloading, and then you can see if there are hidden chat rooms or other things around language or images that you should be mindful of. And it's a great resource. And I know that in some of the school districts, they are using the commonsensemedia.org's digital safety, digital citizenship programming in the school system about understanding the ramifications of posting things online.
It seems like an area where a lot of kids don't seem to think.
Adults don't seem to think. With the location services that are now on your phone, when it comes to stalking cases, when we deal with people who are being stalked, they forget to turn off their location on their phone. And so when they're posting on social media, when they're, taking pictures and things like that, that location may follow them on those posts. So that's not just a child thing, that's an adult thing as well, when people don't fully realize the power of their device in their hand.
So if people want to get involved in what you are all doing, how do they go about doing that? They just call you up on the phone, or
they absolutely
your
can.
website,
So
or?
you're going to post our websites. Mine is bccac.org, or you can follow us on Facebook, and you can search BCCAC, and you can find our Facebook page. And all of our events are posted on those two things, and I believe you have the same information on your website.
Yep, the same information is on our website. We have Facebook events. There are some joint ones, such as the Clothesline Project is a joint thing that's going on throughout the month, that is moving throughout the county.
What is the clothesline project?
So the clothesline project is so incredibly moving, and sexual assault survivors and their family members and friends come and they make shirts that depict their feelings surrounding the sexual assault. And then we take the shirts and we display them on a clothesline, and they're incredibly moving, incredibly powerful. And then P.A.V.E. provides big silhouettes of individuals with facts on them. And then we also plant flags for each survivor throughout Bennington County in 2018. And red ones signify adults and white ones signify children. So it kind of brings it all together in this very powerful visual display. So that is moving around all month starting the 8th. The 8th is also a really important date because
Yes.
that's Bennington Goes Blue.
Yes, and we also have a candlelight vigil happening on the 8th, and that will start at our office on Elm Street, where we have a survivor who will be our guest speaker. And then we will be traveling down to the Four Corners in Bennington, and folks can bring signs of encouragement. And I'm thinking that your silhouettes are going to be on display as well that night.
Yes.
So when we travel from Elm Street down to the Four Corners, we can stop by and we can read all the statistics that'll be posted. And we also have a film that we're doing with Southern Vermont College. Southern Vermont College has historically been a great partner with us, and we've done a film series with them in the past. And this year we're going to be showing the film I Am Evidence on April 18th. And that's also on our website if you want to check out the time. That's a very, very powerful film.
Okay. Wow.
So
Well,
all of that information is on our website too, which is pavebennington.org,
Okay.
and Facebook and Instagram. And
all
of
right.
that as
So
well.
folks are interested in helping out. They shouldn't have too much trouble finding you then.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And I'm sure you're like most organizations, the more help the merrier. I would
Absolutely.
imagine.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I can tell you that the Clothesline Project will be at Adams Park.
Okay.
That's in Manchester, and then we'll also be in Arlington at the community center.
Okay.
So if folks are driving by, they'll see the T-shirts up.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we were seeing them up there last year.
Yes, they are back again this year in both places, so we're very excited to have
Terrific.
them there.
Well, kudos to you both for doing this important work, and
you.
thank you for stopping by to give us the message and tell us what will be going on. And hopefully all of you will find that interesting as well. And if you have the time, April sounds like the month.
Yes.
Joy Kitchell, Dara Zink, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to have you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you all as well. Have a great day.